What's going on, guys? Cameron and Jordan back again from Attack on Anime, here to bring you our weekly review on episode 4 of Erased. And oh my god. Let's just, moment of silence. Let's kick it off. This episode got crazy. Now, first when we'll start off talking about what X Day is. And X Day is March 1st. The day that Kaio went missing and was murdered, and then she was later found after the snow melted, and her body was found under the snow in some garbage, and it gets really depressing with that part. And then he goes into explaining what originally happened on that day, or at least what he was doing. Now, what he was doing was he was going to the hideout, his friend's hideout, to find out where his gloves were, because he lost his gloves, so he's looking for his gloves. And he says on the way he passes by the park and he sees Kaio in the park. And then he goes to the hideout, and he doesn't remember if he found him there or not, but he remembers going past the river, and he sees Yuki staring out at the river, and then he's just like, when I passed by the park again, Kaio wasn't there anymore. So he knows at that point, that's when she went missing. So he's just like, okay, I just have to make sure she's not in that park on that day around 6 o'clock, because that's when he's like, it happened around 6, so he's just like, as long as I can keep her away from that park around 6, everything should be fixed, and then everything should go back to normal. And then he goes into what he's going to plan to do to pretty much fix all of that. And it starts with that next Saturday.
So basically on that Saturday, Fujinama's his whole plan is basically to get himself more familiar around Hayo and just let her surroundings know that somebody is going to be around her. He's trying to get her familiar with his friends so she can have a sort of comfort zone to go back to, so she doesn't have to always resort back to that park. He wants her to let her know that you have friends. You don't have to ostracize yourself anymore. And whoever's watching her, this is a message to you that I'm going to be around her. So you're not going to do whatever you're not going to kidnap her, because I'm always going to be around. Like every time he's around her, he makes sure that he yells out, I'll come back and pick you up in the morning loud so everyone can hear that. He just wants to make his presence felt known, and he's trying to change the future. But the funny thing is, his plans for Saturday is to go to the museum. And when they get to the museum, actually, he starts to have a deja vu moment. So he thinks he's changing the future, but he's actually going down the same path that he already took. Like, it's starting to come back to him.
Yeah, and even when he's having that deja vu moment, he's just like, he starts to remember that he came to the museum, but he was by himself. But Kaio was also there. So that just raises the question, like, even if he didn't fight as hard against the mom in that almost brutal scene, which we have to talk about, but if he didn't fight so hard for that, she would have ended up there anyway. But the scene that we have to talk about the most is that scene with Kaio's mom when Satoru, this took some cojones. Like, this dude said, oh, you can't go on Saturday? Well, let me talk to your mom. And I was like, bro, do you really think talking to her mom is going to help? So he goes to her house and tries to talk to mom and letting her go. And the mom is just like, I don't believe in two kids just going somewhere by themselves. And the mom is actually making logical sense. Like, she's not even being, like, brutal about it. She's just like, what if something happens? Who will take responsibility for that? Would you know you're 10? So she's just, like, really making sense with it. And then she asks Kaio, do you actually want to go with him? And all Kaio does is just nods, and the mom raises her hand, ready to smack. And my expectation was, I thought Satoru was just he had enough and he was going to jump in, but no. Yes. Miss Fujinama for the win.
Comes in there.
Satoru's mom grabs her hand and is just like, oh, she pretty much is just like, I know what's going on here, but I'm gonna be calm about it because I'm not trying to make you any more mad than you obviously are. You're about to slap your own child for nodding. But that just got crazy. And then we finally go into what March 1st is. And on that day, pretty much Satoru is just like, I'm not letting this girl out of my sight. All day we have to hang out. Even when she's just like, I have to get home early, he's just like, no, we got to hang out. And then around like 6:30 that night, she's just like, all right, I really want to go home. So as they're walking past the park, there's the montage part where they're just like, they're showing each individual, pretty much people that we suspected. So they're showing what Yuki's doing. There's
Kenya playing with the soccer ball.
Yeah, Kenya. Yuki's getting into some truck or something with, I guess, probably like his friends or something, if he has friends outside of little kids.
And porn magazines.
And then we see Yashiro. He's at the school, and the stepdad is getting drunk, of course. So it's just like they're showing pretty much people that we can say are the main suspects and what they were doing, and none of them were around the park. So that kind of rules all of them out as suspects, at least for that night. Because as we go into March 2nd, that's the day that Satoru is having his birthday party. And she actually shows up, and she has a lot of fun because they threw her a surprise party.
Her birthday is on the same day, actually.
Yeah, it's on the same day as his. And even Yashiro, the teacher, actually helped distract them enough so that his friends could set up the surprise party at Satoru's house. So they each have fun, and she talks about how her gift for him isn't ready because they were hanging out so late the night before. So she was just like, I'll give it to you tomorrow. And then that scene was just like, it was too much. It was just like, they held the camera on her so long before she finally closed the door. And even Satoru was just like, I need to wait until this day is completely over before I leave this girl alone. And he finally goes home and he passes out. And then he's late to school the next day. And when he walks through the door, Yashiro, the teacher, is just like, oh, so Kaio's the only one that's late? Dude, the look of pure terror on Satoru's face, because he's just like, I did everything.
Right.
But then that leaves the question,
did he really change the future?
Did he really think it was going to end there? Because it's like, Kaio was the first victim, so she was targeted out. And whoever had it out for her so badly. So it's just like, fixing one day isn't going to stop him because he's just going to take the next opportunity he has. I think she's probably got kidnapped. She's not dead yet. I don't think she's dead yet. I think she just got taken that morning when she was on her way to school because Satoru didn't walk her to school that day. So who knows what can happen.
I mean, that's how the future typically works. Is something he's already been in this situation. So her destiny already is to get kidnapped, murdered. So I wonder, is he actually changing the future? Is it going to create like an alternate timeline, and will that affect his present life, or does he just like something has to happen dramatically? That's how time travel or going back in time typically works. And then, because if it doesn't, it's going to create a paradox. Because technically, if he was going to change the future eventually, then she would never disappear. But he's going through the motion and doing everything that he already did. Like, I don't know, that future time travel stuff is kind of confusing, but I wonder how they're going to play out with this in the writing. So that'd be interesting to look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, I can't wait till the next episode. I hope he goes. I don't even know how he's going to find her because he doesn't even know who took her. So it's
Who's
just
the killer
like,
at this point?
Where do you start? And plus, you're 10 in this timeline, so it's even harder for you because like not even adults are going to take you seriously. Even if you report it, they have to go through that whole process, and, Amber Alerts and all that. It's just like, it would take too long. And since he's a kid, it makes it that much harder. But this episode left off on a cliffhanger so bad. Like, Jordan just finished the episode, and he was just like, wait, that's it?
I'm like, bro, you cannot stop this episode right now. You can't do this to me.
Like, we gotta wait a whole nother week until next Thursday for this to end. But guys, that has been our review on episode 4 of Erased. We hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying this anime because, like I said, this is a gem of an anime because this whole episode was like a roller coaster of emotions. And like I said, Mrs. Fujinama for the win. My favorite part.
Thank you, Miss Fujinama.
But until next time, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.